Hey everyone! In my last teaching, I promised that I would talk to you about the will of God. So here I am as promised. Sorry about the week off. We were on vacation and I attempted a video, but it would not upload, so must not have been meant to be. So today we're going to talk about the will of God, and I want to talk about probably the main confusion on the will of God and kind of why we have that confusion. So I'm going to read you two verses, and then we can kind of get into it from there. So we're going to read John 10:10, and this tells us what the enemy does, and it tells us what God does. So John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come, this is Jesus speaking, that they may have life and have it in the full. So very clear scripture on what the enemy has planned for your life. He's plans to kill, steal, and destroy. And God has a plan that is full of life for you. And I think that that's a confusion for sure in the church, is that scripture may have been taken out of context and it's like the American dream is the fullness of life. And I'm not saying that God doesn't want a really great life for you, a prosperous life. But if he prospers you, it's so that you can prosper others, not just so you can have big houses and fancy cars. Just gonna lay that out there. I think a lot of us get stuck and don't fulfill the will of God for our lives because we get stuck and things look really bad. And so we don't move forward. Well, this just must be what God has planned for me. Well, that woman over there that's having this amazing, life in God, that just must be what he planned for her or him, whatever it might be. However, that's not the truth. I believe the main problem that we have is our eyes. What we see a problem and it seems too big, or we just think this is my lot in life and we don't push through it. We don't kick the doors in. God has called us in his word victorious. However, he never says we won't have problems. He actually says in his word that we will have problems and we will have trials, but we will be victorious. So we're meant to kick through them. So these eyes, in Revelation 3, it tells us you to get salve from the Lord. So buy salve so that you can see. So the things that you need to see is where God has you, what he wants you to do, and how he wants you to do it. So there's a problem in your life. Is it killing, stealing, destroying? Well, then that's not from the Lord. So you need to kick that door down, become victorious, and do what God has for you. And I'm sure most of you are saying, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know God's will for my life. I'm a little confused about it, whether it's because you've ended up in a bad place or started in a bad place or whatever it is. Or you're like, you know what, I have a good job. I just don't seem, this fullness of life thing, I'm not feeling it. I implore you to start seeking and knocking. And those who've watched my videos in the past will remember that I say that a lot, but it's the truth. He tells you to get the salve for your eyes so that you can see. And he's asking you to seek and knock so that you can find out these things and find out his will. That's how I found out that I was meant to teach and meant to do these videos, was just seeking and knocking and asking, Lord, I don't feel full. And so I know there's more for me. And I just need to know what that is, Lord. And it was just a step by step. And I know there's more even after that, but it's just a step by step, a listening and a knowing that comes from him, from seeking and knocking and asking him for that salve that helps me to see what his will is and what the enemy's will for my life is. And the enemy's will is to stop you from living out your full potential and finding that fullness of life. Let me tell you, that fullness of life is amazing. When you're in God's will, you start to know that because you're feeling alive. You're feeling like that hole that has been so empty for so long, where you were just feeling discontent, is filled. It's like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. And yes, you will still have troubles and there will still be trials, but he teaches you how to be victorious over those things, and he teaches you how to stay in his will and push through those. It's all about the seeking and the knocking, friends. I'm telling you, staying connected to the Father teaches you who you are, and it helps you to see the world better. And so I just already know next week we're going to be talking about that salve more, because that salve also helps you to see the whole world, including other people differently as well. And that is extremely important as you're moving through doing the will of God in your life. So friends, Seek and knock, and you will find. Ask for that salve.